that, hey, season 1 ended, season 2 ended, season 3 doesn't end. I think it's only the impact of this cliffhanger is slightly more.
I'm a suspect.
So the Family Man was thought of, created, invented to bring it down to reality.
My only problem was the guns and the gore and the sex. Second season, they are having huge problem. How I behave, how I'm looking, what my attitude is, everything is affected by what's happening at home.
When Vijay Sethupathiy's character meets KK Menon's character also, we had written a 1.5 page scene. And then sitting on location, we're thinking, it's not going to fly. So it ended up becoming a 4-page scene afterwards.
Shrikant Tiwari, if you ask me, is still trying to adjust with Priyamani culturally, still struggling.
We didn't really expect that people would notice it so much and start talking about it and writing about it. And when that happened, we thought, okay, this is the motive now of Family Man.
First observing it, and then understanding it, and then accepting.
Let's go holidays. Travel beyond boundaries. டார்லிங் சோலார் 20,500 முன்பணத்தில் இப்பொழுது சோலார் மூலம் இலவச மின்சாரம். மிஸ்டர் கோல்ட் கடலை தான் வாங்குறேன். ஏன் தெரியுமா? சாதாரண ஆயிலை விட சமையல் டேஸ்டாவும் இருக்கும், ஹெல்தியாவும் இருக்கும்.
Family Man 3, season 3 is out. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big hit on Amazon. There have been reviews all over the place. So what have the general reactions been?
See, I'm big. We look at, I'll give you a long answer. The idea was that since we get to do one show, right, that you really want to do it well and you want to be remembered, you want this show to be remembered, last for a long time. The easy way out is when you do a sequel, part 2, season 2 or season 3, is to eke what was there in the season 1, stretch it and do the same that worked. We thought we shouldn't do that because looking back later, 10 years later, looking back at this, you don't want the show to be the same thing over and over because, you know. So the season 2, we took a different turn. We made it a little more actiony, a little more angsty. It was a bit more mainstream in that sense. First one was a bit more, was fresh, original. There's nothing to it. Second one was a deliberately a little more mainstream, wider. Third, we wanted to pull it in and say, let's make it personal. So the idea was, at the core of it, is to make a personal season while experimenting with the ending. So yeah, the overall reaction has been that it's great. They call you at episode 1 and say, oh, what a start. Better than what we expected. Episode 3, they're like, oh, it's going great. I can't wait to get back to 4. So it's going great. Oh my God, it's my favorite season so far. This is the most mature season, deeper, the deeper season and all that. And then they get to episode 7. And they go back and look at, is there an 8?
Right.
Everybody wants to know, is there an episode 8?
Yeah.
I've missed it. Is Amazon not showing it? It's just like...
So, but we knew that going in, thinking that, see, this was supposed to be like a part 1 of a bigger story. And we wanted to take it from there to places that you don't expect, you know.
Right.
So we wanted to pause the story at some point while resolving the current conflict. It's not much different from season 1 ending if you look at it. We can get into a deeper discussion later. I've directly launched off on the first.
No, we can get into it right now.
Yeah, even 1 ends in a cliffhanger. I remember late night, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., people sending me huge, what the fuck, what happens, oh my God, what is this, are you serious, is this how you end it? So we were there, we had set a precedence that way. So season 3, we knew where it was going to end. We knew that Shrikant Tiwari is going to be in trouble.
If I may interrupt, even season 2 kind of ends on a unresolved note because
It does,
the wife begins to talk about something, and then if I remember this right, there's a black screen.
Correct. Actually, contrary to what a lot of people say, that, hey, season 1 ended, season 2 ended, season 3 doesn't end. I think it's only the impact of this cliffhanger is slightly more, but it's the earlier ones had to. Like season 1, especially, the mission was not even resolved.
Yeah.
Delhi is gonna be destroyed, and boom, the thing blows off. People are stuck there. Zoya's character and Milin's character, they're stuck there. You don't know if they live, if they die. You don't know if Delhi survived. And it ended there. So we were aware that we're giving a cliffhanger, and we resolved it in the next season. But what happened in season 2 was we resolve it and move on to a new story. And season 2, like you said, just the relationship part of it, we ended on a kind of an unfinished note to be picked up in season 3, which we do, and you kind of see the repercussions of it in season 2. But season 3, we always consider it as a 2-season arc. The story, this particular conflict, we wrote it, conceived of it as a 2-season arc. This was the midpoint where war is presumably averted, prisoners of war are back in India, safe, but there is a new situation that has come, like wherein Shrikant Tiwari is stuck in a very bad place and the bad guys are still at large. It's like to be
Or
continued.
maybe he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe he's dead.
let's just say that to the people watching this that are unaware, this is going to be a spoiler-filled conversation. So do watch all 7 episodes, not 8, 7 episodes of Family Man season 3, and then come back to this conversation. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
That was a good one to say. So yes, it is like DK was saying that the conflict is resolved. There is an arc to it. It starts at a point and goes to a point. Now we just leave him in trouble because there is something bigger brewing. So it is a much longer. If you were to make this as one season, we would have ended up at 12 or 14 episodes, and that wasn't something we were wanting to do. We wanted to keep it crisp and also going with the times. We started with 10 episodes in the first one. I don't have the patience to watch a 10 episoder season these days. So I know that it's lesser the better, crisper the better. So we kind of went for a shorter season. And yeah.
So before we continue about, I especially want to talk about the evolution of Shrikant Tiwari's arc over the 3 seasons. But before we do that, I want to ask you a generic question. Season 1 had a brief scene where Shrikant Tiwari's character visits Balochistan. Now we have Dhurandhar, which is like breaking all kinds of records by showing Baloch, are we, I know these kind of narrative things are better seen in hindsight and not really now, but is there a sense that today people are craving these kind of thrillers that have a lot of real life rooted connections?
I would like to think so. At least we were, as viewers, let's say, we were craving to see something more grounded, realistic, the plausible plot versus a fantastical plot. Because world over, that's what is happening. You have fantastical plots. Superheroes are fighting other superheroes for a problem that we don't know of. So, and also in general, spies and all that, they always had these mega plans of stopping huge plans. So the Family Man was thought of, created, invented to bring it down to reality, bring it down to a government job, bring it down to a grounded problem that could possibly happen given the geopolitics of the subcontinent.
Right. So, Manoj, when they first approached you,
Right.
many seasons, like for season 1, the first narration that you heard or the thought that you heard, how did that meeting happen?
It was 20 minutes. Mukesh Chawla called me up and he said that Raj and DK, they want to meet you. I asked him, is it a film? So he said, yes. No, it's not a film, it's series. And series till then was a red flag for me because all the template on the on OTT platforms they were all blood, gore, guns and sex. That and also I happened to be in the USA just before the meeting, and there I saw that the OTT is actually running parallel to the Hollywood film industry. I've done a little more R&D. I came to know that people were really getting launched as big stars from OTT shows, and they are considered as the next big thing. So all that information I had, and I knew that, it's going to, arrive here in a big way. But my only problem was the guns and the gore and the sex. I somewhere felt that the OTT is going to be within the home boundary. When it is inside a household, it just can, my first one cannot be just the sex and violence. It has to be something that can be watched by as many members as possible. But that was there, it was a vague thing that you deal with. But there was all the offers which were made to me, they were mostly thrillers, where I'm carrying the gun, and I've had my own stint with guns and everything, and I wanted to do something really different. But what different, I didn't know. I'm an actor. I'm always looking forward to the offers. So I happened to meet them at a place called Indigo, which is very close by from here. It used to be, now it's shut down. We met around the brunch time.
Yeah, brunch, lunch, something.
Something like that. And on coffee, I loved them. Guagon and the other film showed in the city. I always felt that these are my kind of directors. So I just want to know what they are making. So in 20 minutes exactly, Raj has given me the brief of it. And you will not believe, I started seeing Shrikant. I could see Shrikant, how Shrikant started appearing to me. And that was a very good sign to start with, when an actor can see the character and he can see the backstory of the character. We are actually on, but DK is somebody who's very, very particular. Oh, okay, good. Okay. So we'll be sending you 2 episodes, and before I could reach my place, the episodes were there. I finished few other work and then went home, and the episodes were there. Immediately, I was so excited about the whole character that I could see. I somewhere felt that everyone can relate to it if it is made well, it is performed well. So I started reading, and immediately I called up DK and I said, let's go and let's meet at the club.
Yeah. Let's have a glass. Let's celebrate over a glass of wine.
Yeah. And then he sneaked out from that get together. We were celebrating the opportunity of working together, and DK and I kind of extended our stay at the club. The red wines were way too much for us to handle after a point. But yes, that's how it all started. What I remember very, very clearly, that Shrikant Tiwari was a character which I could see in that brief narration that Raj has given to me. That was a very good omen, I would say. For an actor, he goes through the scripts, he works on it, he still doesn't see the character. Many times what happens that you are not seeing the character, you are struggling with it. You go on the set, you are actually hoping that your directors will hold your hand and take you in that direction. But when it happens to me personally, I would say, never a chance, never an opportunity where I could see the character, I said, I thought otherwise, ever. So this was a very good thing that I could see Shrikant Tiwari walking and talking.
Yeah, we also discussed. He's played cops, military, all that stuff before, but he always has a mustache when he does that.
Right.
So we decided this time no mustache, because you
mustache.
look like this ordinary guy going to this government job type. You shouldn't look like a cop.
Right.
Why can't government guys have a mustache?
I think it's in the forces somehow.
Oh, okay.
In the movies. In the movies,
Not even
you always
in real
have
life,
that.
even cops, they usually
But
have.
also an intelligence guy, he has to have a chameleon kind of ability to merge with the crowd.
Yeah.
He's like a fly on the wall. So Yeah, so we decided not to have mustache at all.
But DK, coming from the other side, he saw the character, he committed to it. But from your side, I've heard this character being described as the James Bond of Chembur.
He said it.
You said it, right? Right. So when you wrote it, what was the when you write some image forms, right? Even if it's a hazy image, what was that, Manoj, or was that just like what
It
was
wasn't
it?
Manoj initially, but pretty like it was the way Shrikant Tiwari is, right? He's a middle class guy with middle class problems, and the reason we say Chembur is because it feels like a proper middle class kind of a space. And originally, I think in the first draft, he was driving a scooter, but then we said, "Chalo, ajkal, maybe he can have a tiny."
He can be an upper middle class.
Yeah, tiny car is possible, like an old dinky tiny car,
Which
but
doesn't even start.
yeah, that doesn't start or has issues. So we did that, and he was supposed to be this man that when you look at him is unassuming. Nobody will take him seriously. He'll be like, maybe he's a clerk or something like that is what people will think. Like a very unassuming job. But he goes to his office, and somehow his personality is where you realize, oh man, he's like a very sorted guy. He's a very sharp intelligence agent, and people talk about him in a way. That's why even in the first episode, we kind of set him up as that new character Zoya that comes, looks at him and says, "Your work is being taught as case study." So that's the kind of person he is at work. At home, even his kids don't take him seriously.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that image was there. And then we were thinking, who should we cast? There were a few options, we're thinking. And then I think one day we met Mukesh and said, "Arey, what should we do?" And he said, "Have you met Manoj?" Like we had never met Manoj Bajpayee before. Obviously, we know about him, we know his work, we've seen his movies, never actually met. And I said, "Yeah, Manoj, actually, once you imagine Manoj, you think he would be perfect for it, right?" So that was it. He said, "Have you met Manoj?" And he said, "No."
Yeah.
So I think a couple of days later, we were meeting him.
We spoke about the cliffhangers, and in reality, every season ends on a cliffhanger, or at least some unresolved note, so that you carry that in. Now, in season 2, you resolve the fact we know what happens to Zoya, we know what happens to Milind, we know Delhi is still safe. So, whatever was the unknown part in season 1 was resolved in season 2. Season 3, when Suchi is beginning to tell Shrikant about something important she wants to say, I want to confess, whatever, you draw the curtain. But in season 3, we don't really see what happens. We directly see that they're getting separated. So is that an assumption that they have had that conversation about whatever was?
Yes, I mean, I thought, I know it's salacious for the whole Lonavala episode, and we didn't know there was going to be so much of focus on that when there were bigger problems in the to be resolved, like, the country problems. But it caught people's attention a lot.
Yeah, when the way we ended season 1, when we come in, before season 2 came, instead of asking the question, what happens to Delhi, they're asking what happens in Lonavala, what happened in Lonavala, right? So I'm saying, okay, you're not focusing on this, you're actually concerned about that. That's the crazy thing, yeah.
No, but the point is, I don't think they want to know what happened, like what acts happened in the bedroom or whatever. They want to know whether there was an affair or not, in the sense that I don't think anyone cares about the details. But whether there was infidelity or not is, I think, something that bothered a lot. As in, people wanted to know. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
But someday I also feel that the audience at times they really want things to be spelled out clearly. Though there are indications, they have given ample indications that there was something. And now there is a scene. I was watching it with my daughter last night. There was a scene when your character is sitting next to her, and the people that you are collaborating with, somebody asks, "How
Where
is
is
Arvind?"
Where is Arvind, yeah.
Right.
And he is answering, but she is uncomfortable. So you know there was something. You know this is enough indication. But I think they chose the other way to indicate that there was something, and there is a lot of trouble after that. They are they are sleeping on a separate bed now in the same room. So there is enough indication that the problem has intensified after after the first season in their life.
I think yeah. I think it's. I mean, what we did and what we tend to do is also like, I'm going to show you what happened and you fill in the blanks. What do you think happened? She said, I'll tell you something. And then now we pick up the season and now they are on the verge of divorce. So you fill in the blank, whatever you think happened, whatever you feel is the correct answer, feel free to fill in. It's where we're living.
Yeah. So because the logic is, and not that I demand an answer from you right now, but the thing is, they could be on the verge of divorce simply because he's been lying all these years and it's intensified and she no longer can take this kind of life. Or it could be that one particular point that, because see, for me, I see that whatever happened in Lonavala as an extension of the bigger lie that has been perpetuated by this guy on her. So it's like, it's part of a bigger problem. That's not, it's like she just randomly slipped away and had an affair, or if she did. It's not that at all. It's part of the, she doesn't have a secure guy in her life. And when she meets somebody who seems to be somewhat stable and offers her some kind of unslippery truth, I think something,
Attention, at the very least, attention.
At the very least, attention, because he's always, like, I've actually wondered how come your character is not, in Twitter and things like that, bashed a little more, because you're actually emotionally cheating on your wife in one way because you're doing this.
Flirting with Gulpanak's character.
Yeah, and also, not just that, but also the job itself. You've been lying to your wife right from the beginning, in many ways.
But
So,
see, this is a regular marital problem. Okay, so you really can't pinpoint who is at fault. There is both of them are having their own share when it comes to a crumbling marriage. But beside that, what is Shrikant Tiwari, at the end of the day, he wants her to sit at home and take care of the house and be with the children while he is doing what he is doing.
saving the nation.
And saving the nation. And the job's requirement is not to share it with anyone. That's the job's requirement. This is not that kind of job where boss has said something and you can't share it. It's a highly confidential in nation's interest. So you see, everyone is right and everyone is wrong in this marriage, and that's a peculiar common problem with all marriages.
Yeah, in fact, I've seen
way-
thumbnails that
sorry.
say, what happened in Lonavala?
What happened in Lonavala?
Yeah.
I've seen, that became the whole.
Yeah, and also the way you asked the question now, the way you asked the question, you elaborated it and asked, right? I think there itself the answer lies, because it's not that one thing. Like,
Yeah.
where they are today is not because of that one incident. It's a culmination of a lot of things that happened. Like what happened in Lonavala is the result of a 15-year journey that they've had together and everything that ensues. So, which is why you see this snippet of where they are in their relationship and you draw your own assumptions, because there's no one answer saying this happened, so this happened. It's not that clear cut. And in pieces in their conversations, you understand what happened. Like once in a while, you see Suchitra feeling so guilty that about how she's been with him when he's not there, when he's gone missing. You see that she's like actually would have been happier with him lying to her. You see that moment where she feels that I wish he was here just lying to me and I would have been happier.
And I miss him.
Yeah.
I like that arc of Priyamani's character. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the larger season. One thing that really worked for me is the fact that family becomes a very literal working thing in this series. His family, it becomes collateral damage. He's being chased in a way by his work family. Jaideep, his motivation for revenge is the family that he almost had. And even small characters like that, I think his name is Chima, he is blackmailed
Chuba.
with a photograph
Photograph
of his daughter.
of his daughter, who, like family again, his family again becomes collateral damage, and that's there throughout this.
Even Stephen's whole beef is with his grandfather.
Yeah,
Ideological.
So, and that's something that you were working towards.
Right, that's what I meant by when I said this is a season that's a personal, with a personal centric theme, and it's everyone's family really at the core of it. And that was the point of pulling it in sort of going, let's say, big guns, go international, go to China, go to all kinds of places and do a huge show, versus actually focusing on what is the core theme of the family man, is the family. at the end of it. So yeah, I mean, Jaideep's character is actually, we used to call it almost family man. So
Almost family man.
so
Or or the involuntary or unwilling family
and
man,
yeah,
whatever call it.
so
Yeah, he doesn't want to be a family man, but
Yeah.
he kind of is one, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, that was a conscious choice, and that's why when people, a lot of people got it, that this is meant to be that, and it made us feel good. The entire writers' room, Suman, everyone, Nikhil, Sudesh, and bunch of us sitting there, we knew this was the theme we were going for, and it was all falling in place. Same as how when we started the Family Man, and we knew once we took out the frills of the usual cinematic spy, you have a beautiful texture now. You have all kinds of things coming out of your core concept. So that's when I always feel that when a lot of ideas organically flow from the core concept, you have a winner, at least in terms of a story. How it performs later is up to the audience and all that stuff. But you don't feel it, manufacturing a story.
Yeah.
There is a conceit of this whole manufacturing that happens sometimes because you don't know where to go now. You start throwing in some ideas and some set pieces. But when the core works, it's a beautiful thing for a writer.
Yeah, and even Zoya comes, her character is somebody who's regretting the almost family that she had and now she doesn't have. So with that big scene that gets her close to a potential new family is the where she's crying about the death of this
Million.
guy. So
Yeah.
the thing is scattered everywhere. But I'll pick on the word thrills that you said, not just thrills. It was a very inward looking season for me because, yes, but even in this inward looking season, there were some standout action moments. And I was talking to DK a little bit about this before we started shooting. And so, DK, this episode where Nima's killed, that's one of the most spectacular action blocks that I've seen in India. Like it's just fantastically shot. It's where they come for Jaideep's character, but then you have this cottage which is on stilts, and you keep moving up and down. There are two color tones that are maintained. That one reddish kind of a thing, one bluish kind of a thing. You keep going up and down, and just take me through what it took to get that done. I mean,
wow. Okay. No. Thank you. First of all, thank you. I mean, you've noticed so much in it. That's great. Our Family Man, like when we were making season 1, we came with that idea that we should have these one-ers because they kind of increase the tension. They put you right there with whoever the character the camera is focusing on without knowing what's happening. Typically in an action sequence, I show you coming this way, I show the other guy coming this way. So the audience knows more than the character knows.
you have a lot of cuts.
You have cuts, so the audience knows what's coming before the character himself knows. But when it's a one-er, typically when it's going with the character,
Just to clarify, a single take.
it's a single. Yeah, it's a single take where the camera doesn't cut and it keeps moving fluidly. Now you're pretty much staying with one character and going with the character. What the character knows is what the audience also know. The character turns a corner and there could be a bomb blast there, but they don't know that's happening until the character sees it. So it puts you in the place, makes it that much more tense. And we kind of did it in season 1 for that reason, thinking it builds the tension and it's going to be amazing and all that. And we didn't really expect that people would notice it so much and start talking about it and writing about it. And when that happened, we thought, okay, this is the motif now of Family Man. So season 2 kind of now demanded it, like you couldn't make it without that one take sequence. So we did season 2 as well. In Farzi, we chose not to do it because we said, okay, let this belong to Family Man. Let us not just do this everywhere as a Raj Nidimoru thing. Let it be a Family Man thing. Now, when we came to season 3 now, we felt that we've already done it twice now. So let's do something different. Keeping in the same concept, it's like the same iPhone, but new design. So we decided to do in this sequence, we decided to do a series of one-ers with a seamless transition. So I'm not saying it's a single take, but it's a single take until it cuts, but the cut itself is a seamless cut. So it gives you the impression of a flowing edit, but you are very clearly aware that the location has changed, time has changed, people have changed. So, and that kind of lent itself, and one of the last things we shot, like it was just before the climax. Climax was the last thing we shot, and this was just before the climax because it took
This cottage action sequence.
yeah, this is literally one of the last things. because it took that much time to conceive of it, prep for it, think of it. It took the longest time in designing it because we knew this is what has to happen, but we are going to be stuck in one farmhouse, right? It's not like all through the streets of a place or anything like that. And so that's where we went and did some research on places in Arunachal Pradesh and all the houses in Arunachal Pradesh on stilts. So we devised it based on, say, a real house in Arunachal Pradesh. It has this mezzanine floor, it has stuff everywhere, and you can actually shoot through walls because the walls are just thatch. So all of these put together, it was a painstaking effort of eventually coming to that thing. And then,
It was just like I watched it twice. Despite the fact that it broke the flow, I said I need to watch this again, and it was fantastic. It was just so well done. Manoj, take me through your perception of Shrikant Tiwari's arc over seasons 1, 2, and now 3, where he comes across actually as borderline unlikable. Unlikable in the sense, not you're still rooting for the character, but it's like, dude, if you don't want that family, just let them go. You know, it's like do your nation stuff and do your thing, but why are you sticking on to it, right?
Okay, mostly what happens that when I do my preparation, I like to hear my directors because you get too many ideas, just from the plain conversation, as these are the people who have really seen it completely. So more I hear from them, more they are talking, and I'm just listening. There are few things, they just do the job, and they must be quite unaware of it. But I get my starting point from there. After that, I'm not talking to them. I do my own separate preparation, where you're making your own backstory. As he said in the first meeting of ours, that he's a James Bond of Chembu. That means he's someone he's unlike hero. So that was the first job. From no angle, I'm going to make him have any kind of a swag about him. Which completely, you can always miss him as any other person in the street. So you are actually trying to shed everything which is tempting for an actor. Very, very tempting. Every actor, the moment the camera is on, they try to look in a certain way. They try to have a little bit of a swag, even if they are they are known as very realistic actors. So just shedding everything which is mainstream about Shrikant Tiwari, though he's a protagonist, though he's leading the story, but I had to really make him completely unheroic in my mind. That was a tough thing, because that it's Raj DK and not Devashish Makhija, right? So they will take care of it through their crafting. I just have to be there as a family person, who's a father, who's a loser husband in his wife's mind or eyes, and somebody who's very good in his office or in the field. These were the things. And then backstory, what happens that for me it's very important to know where this character was born. I should know that. It's a thing that does a trick when I'm preparing for a role.
Where the character is born.
Where he was born.
Okay.
Who were his parents, what kind of a culture that he's coming from. So everything that you see reflects in my relationship with all the members, or reflects in my behavior with JK or anyone.
Or your son.
Or my son. The son is a male counterpart, right, in the family. So he takes out all his frustration on him. So he can't debate or discuss or confront his wife. He can't. And there is another lady in the house is the daughter who has her own mind. He doesn't even talk to her in the manner that he speaks to his son. So son is the only guy where he takes out all kind of toxicity that he has within him. So every relationship is defined the way Shrikant Tiwari is. So I had to catch all of those nuances. Where he studied, in my mind, he studied in Delhi University. He comes from Banaras. He's a North Indian, typical North Indian person carrying that culture with him. But his life got messed up when he got attracted to a commerce studying Tamil girl in the university. So this is all
What is
this is all my preparation. I have never discussed with
So
these people.
they don't know that your character is born in Banaras.
no, no. What's interesting is that's what I was going to say, that that's what great actors come in, and that's what we're thankful for great actors like Manoj, is that when we write it. We don't have people in mind usually. We write a good character that we like, the way we want it, the way we perceive it, and I feel that anybody who's sensitive to another region in the country can decently portray a certain character. Like you write it, I don't know much anything from UP or Bihar. I don't know enough. I'm not an expert to write enough, but we can be sensitive enough to understand that this is how approximately it's going to be. We don't know who's going to play the character at that point. So when he comes in and we're discussing this character, and in bits, it's never been long discussions, you see that he's talking about the son aspect. The son aspect is one of the very interesting things that he's always giving galis to the son in the most hilarious way, and you see that happen even in South a bit. Yeah. It's just the patriarchy, I guess, the way we deal with
how
it.
the patriarchy
And so that you get it and you imbibe it. You imbibe these things as to how he would talk. We initially had a much more like a Delhi University studied guy who has like international exposure. Initially, a little more of this guy who would deal diplomatic, it was in diplomatic events and all that. We pulled it back. We said, no, let's go back to where we were. The Chembur is also a bit of a Tamil touch to it. So there is the whole thing in it. Let's keep him right there. And so suddenly we got this person from central India dealing with a Tamil wife. Right. And so you have an interesting mixture there. And so whatever he brought in is what we started imbibing quickly into the character. So I think that's where the magic happens, I guess, right?
It's a collaboration. So they were very sharp in first observing it, and then understanding it, and then accepting it. So this is the way we work even on the set. So there are few things, there are few words or the idioms that I improvise. They want to understand what does it mean, because it's not something which is very South Indian, right? But all the South Indian stuff you get from Priyamani. So I'm still, Shrikant Tiwari, if you ask me, is still trying to adjust with Priyamani culturally, still struggling, and he still doesn't know how to deal with the whole cultural thing. And they beautifully set it up in form of, say, puja in the beginning in the house, or say in first season there was a get together in my place where I'm dealing with my in-laws, and though I'm trying not to have any kind of a conversation with them. So so these are the occasions that the writer and the directors, they keep throwing at me, and then I grab it, I try to make it my own, which is stemming from my own what do you call character study or the backstory. So the backstory is something I'm never forgetting. Even third season, if I'm getting into it, backstory is something I keep going back to, because every answer is there about this man. Who is this? Where he's come from? What he has done? How he has reached? Every answer is there for me. So even my improvisation, it should not look like that I am trying to dominate my co-actor, overpower them, steal away the scene, and improvise something which is completely away from the season or completely away from the subject. Rather, it should extend the scene or elevate the scene and make it a little more informative and entertaining, all of it. So it's a huge responsibility. So if I as an actor, I'm not ready and prepared with and there's no flamboyance in it. I mean, most of the things they don't know, because directors are mostly interested in what you are doing in front of the camera. I mean, if I start telling them my preparation, they will get annoyed. Boss, mujhe mat batao. You deliver it and show it to us. So I don't discuss it with my directors, but the character arc is that starting from there. And when we got into second season, they are having huge problem in the match. So everything, how I behave, how I'm looking, what my attitude is, everything is affected by what's happening at home. So even in second season, you will see a certain kind of gait, certain kind of a silence in him or in his eyes. But third season, you will see him from the beginning. He is clueless. He's lost. He's anchorless. So that kind of a man, and he keeps losing the anchor one after another, one after another. He's on the back. I don't think Shrikant Tiwari was ever on that much of back foot. And then he's called anti-national. Then his family is in trouble. Then he's running with the family. So running with, he loses his father figure. So Baradwaj, it's too much. So you can always, you can always feel that I'm playing the bloody protagonist of this huge series. So let me go ahead and be a hero, and no matter what. No, I think it's if I should really take advantage of season 3 being just the part 1 of this what do you call this story?
The story
long
arc.
story,
The story, yeah.
Because second part, once the family is taken care of, once everybody is safe, then you'll see this guy coming into his own. Because till the family is not safe, till his job is not done, he is a bruised guy. He's a loser. He has never felt so much low about himself. So I think many people ask me why you were so passive in this. And whenever anybody asks me, I take it as a compliment. Yeah. I really take it as a compliment. Because and many of the people have written it to me that Jaideep is doing this, because Jaideep is somebody who's very much active, 200% active. His role is introduced and he's on the go. He's the one who's dominating right now. He's winning the game almost. The second season, when family is all right, you will see when the family reaches the safe place, when he knows that everything is all right, then Shrikant Tiwari can afford to show his true color, to show his sharpness, to show his experience as an intelligence officer. Otherwise, there is no point. Then it will be another hero, right? So at that, I have to save my character from.
That was lovely to hear. One thing that I remembered when you were saying that you're on the back foot constantly is that, there's that scene where you're on a train with JK and your wife and your kids. Incidentally, she's called Muttaraga, which is her character from Parati Veeran. Was that your touch or her touch?
No, that was our
That was our touch only. Suman. Even the kid is called Suman.
Okay.
And he makes fun of ye kya ladki ka naam hai.
Yeah,
because Suman is a writer.
Right,
third writer.
yeah. So you're traveling with Muttaraga and your things, and you've devised this so-called clever plan where he'll be called Anjaneyulu and, he's from Chittoor or whatever it is. And that almost backfires. So the scene plays like a comedy scene, but there's also that, man, I have to intervene now because if I don't step in now, shit could just blow up. Like that balance of you think you've got this under control. Yeah, ID card, this, that, and all that, but that's really going into disaster because JK is not able to handle this Telugu talking guy. So even there, the comedy is balanced by the desperation. I felt it.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
so,
of course.
I will tell you, when I read the scene, so I was thinking, why Rajan DK and Suman could not think that, Shrikant Tiwari should have planned this mishap. I mean, planned or
Better.
foresaw this mishap or foresaw this problem that he's giving these kind of name and surname to all the people who will have no answer if they are interrogated, right? So he should have planned or foresaw these kind of problems beforehand. Then I realized, no, actually, in the manner they slept out of Mumbai, sneaked out of Mumbai, there was no time. You could only see.
You grab what you get.
You
This
grab
is
what
is
you
available.
get at that point of time. So now I have to save it. I have to get into and get ourselves out of this problem. So when you do that very sincerely, it is by the look of it, it's a very humorous situation anyway. So I don't have to do anything extra. I just have to do it sincerely, and the humor will come. And there is JK, who is completely clueless anyway.
And Sharif is just awesome.
Awesome.
Like I cannot even think of another actor in that role right now. It's so awesome.
So yeah, there was a question in me that why Raj and DK and Suman could not see this problem coming, when they
It's
were
also
writing.
not the
It's
sharp.
a huge coincidence.
Right.
That in fact, you literally verbalize it. He literally says it. कितनी बड़ी इत्तेफाक है ना कि आप कहीं से भी हो सकते थे, बनारस से हो
Right.
सकते थे, but you turn out to be from Chittoor. I mean,
He says it.
there is a 1 in a million chance of that happening, and it happened. And so it's not a problem you could have foreseen. You would have,
Right.
that guy had been a Gujarati guy, this would
Right.
have been a problem.
Right.
It just turned out that he's a
He's a
Telugu.
Telugu
From that
guy.
place.
Yeah, and that's a constant throughout because there are scenes that are constructed where there's a delicate thread of humor running through while there's something else happening. Like, for example, right from the opening, that Grahpravesham scene where there's that housewarming or whatever you call it, there is, he does not want to be in that at all. He's like, dude, just tell me the quickest way I can do this. And this exasperated Pujari says, Mama, just say that so that you can keep, just say, it's like
Right.
ditto, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
ditto,
yeah,
just
yeah.
say ditto
Yeah.
and whatever it is. So, and she's like, can't at least for this, can't you just keep sitting? You feel that in her language, can't you it's just a ceremony, can't you just at least do this? Right from that to the boy turning out to be a ballet dancer, which is like not the gun-toting thing, but the other end of the spectrum. And there are so many things that present themselves as funny or lightly humorous, but there's always something else going on. That's something that who brings that flavor into the proceedings?
There is a thought behind most of these, pretty much all of them, because there has to be a thematic idea behind the scene. Even the mantrams one is like, also most of it is derived from our experiences. So I've done a lot of homams and slokams, so I know enough. But I also have a friend
Did you keep
sitting.
doing Mama when you got married recently?
No, I speak the whole thing. I actually do. As they do it, I do all the shlokas. But I always have a friend with me who's also forced to do. Like DK we'll be doing this office ka puja, and I'll be doing all the mantrams. And so I'll have to say that somebody else is not clued in. So we'll have to figure. So I know the nuances of saying that Mama. So it is coming from a place of knowing the puja very well, but there's also somebody who's restless, who does just want not to be
Also,
there.
there's a language problem. That's also, it's not that,
Yeah.
if it had been a Sanskrit puja, he might have managed to do it. But now it's a Tamil puja, and he has to now repeat the Tamil words. So he's struggling.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so thematically, there's always a point behind it. The other
I
one,
thought that was a Tamil puja. Is
no,
it? I missed
no, so the shlokas are in Sanskrit,
Yeah, but the guy is a
but
Tamil,
they're
yeah.
speaking in the instructions are in Tamil.
Tamil, yeah,
So
right.
like he's
So-
asking take your wife's name. So I really don't know what what the hell he said.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a nice thing. Suddenly from Sanskrit slokam to really start talking to him in Tamil, and this guy is caught unaware completely. So what they did that they showed the tension between husband and wife very well, even through that.
Yeah, and even his cluelessness,
Yeah, he's-
right, like he is out of his depth right from
Yeah.
that one scene.
Yeah,
it's
you-
like scene one. He's just
He's
completely.
the whole. It also sets up that out of depth thing throughout. Like earlier, you were saying about why didn't he think through everything? He's not able to. He's not the sharpest in this season. His family is at stake. That's his heart. So now he's not the best decision maker when this is coming to. It comes to his family. So that kind of he does slips because of that, but there is an innate improvisational talent in him. That's what carries him through most of the time, from Musa to anyone. So that's what we have in mind. That doesn't matter, even if an exceptional case happens, a complication arises. He has the innate ability to improvise and get the fuck out of the situation. So keeping that in mind is where most of the scenes are constructed.
This season, I wanted an episode 8, not to know what, even if it ended episode 8 at the very same point that you'd ended this, I just felt Priyamani's character deserved a little more time, given the fact that this is the season in which she she knows and she's accepted what it is, kind of, this is what it is. I felt a few conversations between them may have, but this is just me. Obviously, this is not the movie that I'm making. You're making this series, so it's yours. But I'm just telling you, I felt I wanted. It's not like it's a wrong thing or a right thing.
No,
It's not-
what is interesting in that bit is that there is a huge wish list, is what I realized in season 3.
I wish this had been done. I wish that.
Yeah,
had
there is
been-
a huge wish list. So, which I'm like, oh my God, I'd love to fulfill this wish list.
What are some of the wishes?
All kinds of things. Let's say they want more humor in the second half. There cannot possibly be more humor. What's interesting is season 1 or 2, the humor dries out as things get serious. I can't force a humor in. But I think there was still there till the last episode. There was a bit of organically something fun was there. But let's say they say we wanted more humor. We wanted Srikanth to be more cool. Because in season 2, he's the man. He's the one that goes and shoots down the plane. He takes charge. Season 1, interestingly, if you look back at it, he's not in the climax of the season at all. He's not there anywhere to resolve.
Even in the first episode of season 1, when these captured
Musa
and his people are being transported, and a big crash happens and they kill those guys and they run away, he's completely missing there because he's in school dealing with the problem. He comes there after the fact and he resolves the issue in a different way, not by being the action star. And so there is a template we set for him. There is a personality we set saying, he's not the guy going around blowing up stuff and shooting. He does more of that in season 2, I agree. But he didn't do that in season 1. In season 1, a lot of times he's missing in the action. He's resolving an issue, but he's missing in the action. So we wanted to kind of, keep that personality in mind, even for season 3. That's why we didn't necessarily.
I like the fact that he's not a rock star, that he's part of a team, because that way everybody registers, even though he's the experienced guy, all that, but he's part of a team, because I cannot imagine Srikanth without JK, without Zoya, without, these
The whole
other
team.
people around him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Kulkarni, like
Right.
earlier, not now, but that thing is very well brought out in this show, I feel, which is like, yes, he's the protagonist, he's the hero, he's the star, but it's not him alone that's doing everything. Yeah.
Yes, that's been like a permanent. That has been a constant for us also. Every once in a while, we decide Srikanth goes and does this. We think, no, dial back. He's not James Bond. He's James Bond from Jambu.
Yeah.
That's the difference. James Bond versus James Bond from Jambu.
Yeah.
You're never going to live that down.
Yeah.
This is
No,
kind of-
and it takes a lot of security from an actor who's leading the show where we introduce antagonists that are quite exciting. And they come and take, like you said, Jaydeep's character is the most active one. Everybody loves Jaydeep's character. There's a swag to it. There's a whole larger than life to it. And he's the meek guy going like, Sach mein meri phat rahi hai.
Yeah, he says that. He admits through the fact that he is very vulnerable at this
Yeah.
point of time.
So it's nice to have. That's what is the beauty of this medium. At least the way we saw it when we went from films to series to make it, is to embrace all kinds of things that you don't usually get to make in a film. At least that's what the thought then was, including cliffhangers, including unresolved issues, including not feeding you exactly what happened between the couple. So these are things you can add in it. You can pick up where you want. You can skip an entire chunk of time and restart later. So all these things we really want to embrace, or the time to do a one or any of these things is the beauty of this medium as storytellers. That's what is fascinating and exciting for us to experiment in every facet of storytelling.
When you guys write, are you also thinking technically? Like, for example, when you wrote that action scene, when you guys wrote that scene where Jaideep is attacked for the first time and loses his the woman he loves, are you also thinking of it visually because you're the directors as well?
Not on the first draft, right? The first draft is to set what happens. So Jaideep, Rukma is at home, a raid happens, there is this girlfriend that he's kind of being aloof about, but finally agrees, chalo, shadi kar lete hai. Because that's what you want, not that because he wants. And there is an child that's not even his that he's willing to take on because, he wants her in his life. This is the setup, attack happens, and what unfolds. So this is what's going to happen. But we also know now when we're writing, we already know where it's coming in the episode. It's going to be the third act of that episode. So this will be one spectacular set piece, is what we know. So once we get the story as to where it starts, where it goes, what happens, where it ends, then we start designing it. And then the writing keeps adapting as well. That's the advantage of being writer-director is when you're designing an action sequence and when you see potential in doing something that's very exciting and nice, you go back and change the writing a bit. The core remains, but how many agents come? What do these agents want? So it is very clear that the agents, if they really wanted to just take him out and kill him, there were probably ways to do it. But they're also coming in as the narcotics bureau, and they want to arrest him. Unless when things get out of hand, they're okay to kill him, but they don't want to be the ones firing the first bullet and killing him. So which is why Rukma has an upper hand when it begins. Even though he's outnumbered, he has an upper hand because he doesn't hesitate to kill. Those guys are not trying to kill him yet. And they don't want to kill his family either, but he can shoot at anybody and everybody and kill them. So once all the rules are set, we do take a lot of time to design it and devise it, and we bring in the action directors. But it's like only when we've fully designed it and it still fits our story template that we have, then we go into
So we end up putting it all in the script, is short answer. And also what's funny is, as DK was saying, I was thinking about it, we didn't know better. When we started making movies, we didn't know there were experts for each aspect of filmmaking. So we had to teach ourselves everything, like teach each other pretty much, from editing to choreography to whatever. So we didn't know that you just give it away and somebody does it and you get it back. So we had to figure out how to do it ourselves. And so we write the whole action piece, and we don't know how somebody falls from a balcony, for example. So we were like, how do we do this? So we had to come up with ideas or design the whole thing. So I think that's evolved, and the Family Man really helped us in terms of taking the action up a notch, because there are no great tools available. Especially the first season, it was an extremely tight budget. It's not like we had tools and this crazy gear that you can do a lot of things with it. So we had to come up with ideas as to how to make it exciting, something fresh, something you've never seen before, and still achieve it with what we have.
Right.
So yeah.
Manoj, what is it like for an actor to do an action scene? Like in the last episode, for example, you have these very heavy machine guns that you're or machine guns that you're carrying. You seem to almost like it for a minute you're lunging and because the weight of it is so much for a second, like the first time you pick it up. What is it like acting with action?
With the first season, it didn't have much action for me, But there was one action piece where one of the team members died. He dies, no? What's his name?
Pasha.
Pasha, but you were not there.
So I was not there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So that action piece was superlative, but I was not required mostly in most of the action sequences in first season. But second season was very challenging. It was excruciatingly exhausting for me. Right, the police station scene. But I enjoy the one take police station scene is still one of my favorite. The whole setup, the way they crafted. I come out, I see there are shops and people are, there's activity down right outside the police station. Then he goes inside, he checks, he looks at Raji's character, Samantha. Samantha is looking at me through the window.
And it looks like she knows something that he doesn't know. She's going crazy.
So she's looking at me and she very mildly, she smiles. And then I go inside, I come back, I try to light a cigarette and I see there is nobody, there is no shops now. All the shopkeepers are gone, there is no activity. I am only hearing a bird sound. And now he senses danger. And in that too, in a unknown land, he goes inside and he tells people that we are under attack. From that point till Milind dies, it was, I think, it was never ending, because you do rehearsals as many times as possible just to perfect your action, but also you have to understand that there is a camera which is following everything. So you have to be very sure when to reach the mark, when to know that you have to run on the left side of the camera, or you have to keep pace with the camera. It's too many things, 1,000 things you are
Plus
keeping
you
in
have
your
to
mind.
be in character.
Plus you have to be in the character. You have to be sharp. You should look like somebody who knows his job. He must have done it too many times. He knows it. And in these kind of situations, he has to be ultra fast, and also have to keep pace with the cameraman. Sometimes the assistant cameramen are banging into each other, falling down. All of those things are happening. Okay, but that piece for me is my favorite. But the most challenging was the climax of second season. So Raj and DK, they kept one day just for the rehearsal. So
This is for the one with the helicopter.
Yeah, the plane.
It's a plane. It's a plane.
Yeah.
So it was like most of it was one shot. And we are coming in our car, all the task people, we get out and we start moving. I still remember everything.
And
We
remember
are
the guy in front of you
step by
gets shot,
step.
blood
And the
splatters
guy who is here, he gets shot and his blood comes on me. I still remember that. It comes on me, and then we start running for the cover, and from there it's one shot. Then I get into the heart. Then I get out of the car. Then I fight with fist
There is
fight.
a hand-to-hand fight with
Hand fight.
Selva, like,
Then taking out the machine gun. Then I kill someone. Then I start running. Then running up. My goodness, it was
intense.
intense. Yeah,
And there are small decisions which, for example, like he said this, he comes out of the car and the guy in front gets shot. We also discover as we go, right? So we're shooting it and we're thinking, should the focus be on the guy getting shot, or should the focus be on Srikanth? Because if Srikanth Tiwari is coming out and there's a guy here and the focus shifts to him, the audience already knows something's going to happen to him.
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
Why are you shifting focus to this guy? He's going to get shot. So the first take, we do that and we're like, it's not looking right. It looks like he's going to get shot. Then we're like, okay, don't shift the focus. It should be on Srikanth.
Right.
This guy is out of focus, he gets shot. That's when you don't see it. So all these tiny, that's where it starts evolving, and it takes many. Yeah.
It's such a cliche because what in movies generally, when a guy usually says, "Oh, it's my birthday today" or something like that, next scene he's going to die, and that
Yeah,
scene
yeah,
is
yeah.
doing that because
we have a word. We have a word called chaukala.
so,
So
Tamil, it's the
that
same
guy's,
word in Tamil also, right? Saukala.
so we always say, I think this guy has too much chaukala. Let's
Yeah,
not
if
be
ever one
pointing to
random
him.
character starts talking about, oh, I just got newly married, I'm going to go back to my wife today, it's like, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, but in the end, I went back into my room, and before I could reach, it was the bucket of hot water was organized and put salt in it. I was actually sitting like this. Then Sharik came into my room. Sir, what's happening, sir? Let's call everyone. So a few other people came, the Milind and all of these guys. And Milind said, sir, let's have red wine. I said, I am so tired. These guys were talking Baradwaj, and I was sleeping on the bed. They were talking here, and this is the bed. I'm sleeping. I crashed out.
We were wiped out fully.
Completely.
so the last episode is when you're getting your protagonist to meet your antagonist, and also you're getting two big actors or two very good actors to meet. So it's like that heat like scene, right? Robert
Yeah,
De
that's
Niro,
what
Al
people
Pacino
say,
kind of
yeah.
a thing. So actually the scene isn't very big. Did you have a temptation to like have a really meaty scene so that we can have Manoj Bajpayee and Jaideep Aila like face off and
That pressure is usually we try in our writers' room. We don't think there's no great introduction scene for Shrikant Tiwari in general. We don't need to do the fanfare and the slow motion music and all that stuff. So when it's out of your head that we need to make this truly special, you write it. But I remember I wasn't there for that scene. I remember Cheshta, our associate director, calling me that night and going like, sir, tomorrow morning, tonight we're doing this. Can you take a look at it again? I said, it's fine. It's a great scene.
look at the scene.
The scene.
Yeah.
Can you take a look at it again? And I'm like, it's fine. It's good. So I said, no. I don't think I think it's lacking something. Can you look at it? So I remember that one bit, writing that night again, rewriting it a little more, calling DK. So we were so used to it. We are on the phone, sometimes writing with each other. It's been a process for years now. So quickly calling DK and I think I'm going to do this and then and this and say, okay, makes sense. So we actually almost 40% of it changed, I think, last minute. And I know these actors can pick it up at any point.
Yeah, to add to this and to add to what you said, typically what happens is we sit in the writer's room and I think, no big deal. Shrikant means Rukman, no big deal. This is what needs to happen. You write, you let the characters naturally speak what they speak. Night before the shoot, this happens. And we are like, okay, no. Like everything said, does it need more meat? Everybody says, yes, sir, we are seeing them for the first time in the 7th episode, we need more meat. So you're brainstorming that night, coming up with additional things. And then we're sitting with the actors and seeing what they can come up with on their own, kind of a thing. You know where else this happened? This happened in Farzi. When Vijay Sethupathiy's character meets KK Menon's character also, we had written a 1.5-page scene. And then sitting on location, we're thinking, it's not going to fly. So it ended up becoming a 4-page scene afterwards.
The bigger thing that happened, the change that happened, I think, for the scene now that anyway it's post release, is that I think what was improvised that night before was that the original thought as to how do you freaking manage your life, man, is what the thought came. So we added that thought. He comes and saying, how do you do this? You're really doing a shit job of everything.
this.
Is what he calls out the family man concept itself.
Yeah.
As to,
So you're not a good family man, you're not a good agent because you got caught.
and how are you so good? I thought like, it'd be so cool and this. So I'm not even, it's not even cool the way you got caught. So that thought came in and we knew it was nice and solid at that point.
I like the fact that this guy is kind of losing his family, whereas Rukma has that one moment when he asks the boy, he uses the boy to plant the bomb, and he thinks the boy is going to come back, but the boy doesn't come back. At that moment, he realizes that that boy actually means more to him than he thought the boy did. And he runs, and he didn't know himself that he cared so much about the boy. But the minute that the time's kind of coming close, he realizes that I got to go, and that was a nice thing, because it's like even in the most evil minds, the pull of family is kind of like strong, you know,
And
there's
that
a
is the crux of his character. That's the crux where we knew that, okay, now we have a likable character, even though he's a nasty guy at the end of it. That he could put the kid to exploit the kid to send a backpack in the middle of children. It's like the most heinous act you
heinous
can
thing,
do.
yeah.
And so to pull it back is where we knew that that's where his character is going to peak.
You know, I really enjoyed the very unexpected relationship between Rukma and what's Nimratka's character's
Mira.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. That was a very bizarre, bizarre in a good way. Like, you don't expect that happening at all because you're like, okay, she's like this cool, you know, whatever, I'm chuffed, that kind of, she's coming from that kind of world. And he's this, you know,
Yeah,
person on the
local
ground.
guy.
So you expect them to kind of have this thing, but when he proves to her that he can outmaneuver her so-called specialist safeguards, that's the beginning of a kind of a grudging respect for his talents, and that grows into something by the end. And I kind of really, even though it was not really going anywhere, I like that flavoring that character got. I mean, it's like
Yeah, that pairing was gave us suddenly a pair of antagonists that fit as a unit. They're very dissimilar, but slowly as we see them together, they're very similar in the way they are in terms of their integrity or lack of integrity or whatever it is. The whole thing, you see them as a unit, and that bit where he actually starts seeing that she's always on the job, and he's trying to show her, look at the beautiful countryside we are in, is something is funny coming from him, you know, coming from him who's always doing stuff for money and doing all these things. So those little moments made them human suddenly. And so yeah.
And I also like the fact that even some so-called super cold, super wonderful operative like her does a mistake by going into Myanmar. You know, and she's called out for it. And it's like, so there's like that human element where I think even Rupma says something like who doesn't make mistakes? Galti kisse nahi hoti hai kind
He
of
says
thing.
that,
Right?
yeah,
There's
it's
like there's something like that.
Everybody makes mistake. It's how you get out of it. That's important. He does say that, and yeah, she is actually a. If you were to, like, because interesting you brought up this relationship. If you were to characterize this relationship, she's the alpha in a way. She's being colder, emotionally aloof, and being cooler about it, and he's the one little trying to impress her, so to speak, in his own way. So in that sense, she's the alpha in the relationship. That's what makes it that much more interesting. And they are from completely different worlds. He can barely speak English and is so impressed that she's speaking such good English. And even Hindi, your Hindi is so good. It's like he's impressed by her in a
I think he
strange
gets
way.
impressed by her when she swears to him.
When she swears, it's like, you speak good English. I know you're from England, but Hindi bhi meri tarah baat kar leti ho tum, like that.
Yeah. What point did you guys envision the crossover between the Fuzzy and the Family Man universe?
It started in season 2, absolutely instinctive.
No, Farzi, season 1.
Fuzzy season 1.
Season 1 of Farzi kind of randomly happened. Carry on.
Yeah, we were just shooting in Bel Pier. That's the only place you get in Bombay to shoot, unfortunately. So you have to figure out various ways to shoot it innovatively. And we were shooting in that one specific street, and we realized this is where the task office is of Shrikant Tiwari's. So we quickly called up, who is around? Can they just come and have a smoking break outside while Vijay Sethupathi walks by? It started there. That was it. It's really, while shooting it, we said 2 hours, can somebody come please? So 2 of them showed up, and he stopped and said, Tiwari, how is Tiwari? And he walks away. That was it, just a subtle little nod. And then that made us put a phone call when he needs help. And he calls Shrikant Tiwari.
And then there's Shalam sir that comes in.
Yeah, and then we just hear your voice in that, right?
Yeah.
You're not actually there.
Yeah.
Right.
He was too busy shooting. So.
So we were just teasing that. Even in reality, you go to that area, all the government offices are in that area. So there is a NCB office, there is an enforcement office, there is a IT. Every office is there. So even in the real world, in Mumbai, that would happen. If you're working for one arm of the government, you're probably going down to the coffee shop for breakfast, and you're meeting another person from another arm. So it made sense that Michael and Shrikant Tiwari could actually be friends, working for different departments. just serendipitously fell in place.
So while they're shooting Farzi season 2, which is going to
Season
happen
one.
soon,
No,
No,
now
season two,
while
yeah,
they're
yeah.
going to shoot it, I think you should have some breaks between your schedule so
Some
that you
slack.
can, you know, some
So
slack
there you
so
go,
that
sir.
you can
No, definitely.
pay a
Because
visit.
Vijay has done it for Family Man, so I had to give return.
Okay, okay, wish list, wish list.
The wish list.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, cliche question, but I mean, I know this is as a character, you take everything seriously. Everything is you know, like a backstory and all. But was there any one maybe scene or sequence in season 3 that was particularly challenging for you as an actor?
But I can tell you that my favorite is when I'm talking to my daughter.
In the
yeah,
train.
Yeah, in a train. So I think it's a, it's also shows a journey where we are coming from. From season 1, when I'm going to drop them, she was 14 years old. Now she's adult enough to speak to her father about the collapse of the marriage, and is it possible to really, both of us can come back to it. So it was a very, very, what you call, crucial scene for me. And one of my most favorite for Shrikant Tiwari. Because here Shrikant Tiwari is, I don't think in all of the 3 seasons, Shrikant Tiwari has ever spoken to anyone with that much of depth about his marriage.
Tenderness, right?
Very
He's
tender, yeah.
Even there, he's initially trying to kind of dismiss her, like she's like Papa, it's like kya,
Yeah.
kya types, but he gets pulled into it. and-
Right. You see, difficult. I would say I was clueless about the scene that Jaideep and myself have done. I mean, I really didn't know how to do it. But I always felt that is there something missing here? Is there? Then I realized no. I mean, this is the way it should be. Because the moment he starts talking, in my mind, I crack it that I immediately know that this guy, he doesn't want to harm us. For whatever reason, he doesn't want to harm us. Because the people who are intending to harm you are not going to talk in that tone, in that nasty and sarcastic way. He would do something about it. So I treated it that way. But it was very difficult to find the right sur of it. I mean, sur means the right way of doing it. So personally, it was difficult in finding the sur. Nothing else. I mean, but that I was struggling with myself. How to pitch it. With what motivation I should be there in that sequence. So I felt after doing it, Sharif thought that, it is incomplete. I said, no, there is nothing else can be written. Because he doesn't want to hurt us. He only wants to keep us in some cell, and after that he will know, or he will decide what to do with us. But till then we have time, right? And Jaideep comes and he does all of that taunting, sarcasm. He's sitting there. He's demeaning me. I don't have anything to say to him. And after he leaves, so the answer was in the scene itself. Sharif says, how could you take it from this guy? I said, don't worry, he's not going to kill us.
Yeah.
Not going to kill us here.
We didn't even rehearse that scene,
Yeah,
right?
we
It's
didn't
like
even rehearse that.
the actors never got together, rehearsed. Like we had the scene, and like he said, we kind of rewrote a lot of it the night before. So I sat with Jaideep, I walked him through the scene. I sat with him, walked him through the scene. They never got together to read the scene, so it was kind of evolving on set as we are shooting, saying, let's see what they do, let's see what each actor does.
Right. So the upper hand was, in that scene, Rukma has the upper hand because we are the people who are caught. We don't have anything better to do. So but for Shrikant Tiwari, he himself has exposed himself. I mean, Rukma has exposed himself when he started talking.
Yeah.
So the decision to go to the Northeast and then to the Sri Lankan Tamil issue, and then the first one happens in the gas plant in New Delhi, and they want to make a Bhopal-like terror attack. That's in Delhi, right?
No, I mean, most of the season is set in Kashmir,
Yeah, but
attack comes to
the attack
Delhi.
comes in Delhi, right? So this is a conscious decision to kind of go do a geopolitical kind of a thing.
Correct, exactly. This was the original idea of the Family Man when we said we're going to do this, we're going to do each season in a different part of the region. So that was very clear in our head. Like we made season one. By the time we finished season one, before it even released while I was in edit, we had already developed season two, and we were actually shooting season two already in the south when season one released. So it was not that it was not something that formed afterwards. We already knew that the characters are going to be the same. Their personal journeys are going to continue through the various seasons, but the plot itself and the region and the geopolitics and everything, each season will speak about one region. And even at the end of season two, if you notice, we gave like a teaser kind of a epilogue-ish
Of the
scene.
what is the thing? Guan Yu?
Guan Yu, Project Guan
yeah,
Yu.
yeah,
We say
yeah.
Project Guan Yu is starting, and it says the phoenixes have landed in Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. I know we're getting ready, whatever he says. So now when we pick up Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, the phoenix villages have already been set up. So we're picking up, say, from that moment where things are getting started. India, most of the world is distracted by COVID, so this is our moment to start. And a couple of years later, now they're fully functional villages. They're doing the cross-border incursions.
This you mentioned in an interview that directors sometimes have a tendency to look at actors as props, and that I think this came about because Samantha was facing some health condition while you were shooting Citadel, and like you said, the actors have to put up with a lot of things because their health is some ways, then their personal life is being talked about. You don't know what mind frame they're in, but as directors, all we care about is, are they there at 9 o'clock and are they willing to do what we're doing? I get what you're saying, but what else can you? Isn't that a given? That's this job that you sign up for as an actor, right?
It is, and they always do.
Yeah.
Pretty much 90%, 99% of the time they show up. And I heard of when I came to Mumbai to make, we came to Mumbai to make films. I heard of these cocktails they inject, like some kind of a shots, like a vitamin C cocktails. They have high fever. They take these shots and come to the set. So we get to know about it later. So the respect for actors started to grow. Because you're only thinking of the time you have to shoot. You have 2 hours to shoot this scene. How do we do it? And why is he late? Why are they late? What's happening? But you slowly understand what's going on with them, whatever little windows you get into their lives. I remember in our very first, we call it film school film we did, our own film school film we did, Flavors. It was a crucial scene, and Reshma Malik, right? Reshma Malik was the actor, and she was out of it, completely out of the scene. Like she couldn't. She's a good actor. She just forgot all her lines. She was blanking out, and I was like, we had the shots ready, we were shooting, and she's not able to say. And then I had to go and talk to her and says, what happened? And so I realized there's something personal happening in her life. We are like, oh my God.
So this happens. It's like that.
So we are like, oh really? Actors, they should just show up. Is what you're thinking, and snap out of it and shoot. And I'm thinking if that was to happen to us, we'd be suffering as much. But actors, I think, it's part of their job to figure out a way to come out of these situations to kind of turn on when the camera is on. So the respect slowly increased over time when we started to understand how much they go through, but they still show up and give a shot. They could be in the middle of shit on phone with somebody shouting and crying at the corner of this, or not well and having IVs in the middle of shots. We don't see all that. So we'll say, okay, now shot is ready, and she comes up and she's ready to shoot, and you're giving a great shot. And at the end of it, you're exhausted again. Again, they carry her back and put some IV in it. So these things give more respect to the actors. Initially, we used to think like, hey, stand there and perform.
But Manoj, do you have a way of blanking out? Supposing you have something going on in your personal life or something else professionally.
Many times it has happened.
How do you blank out?
I mean, it's very difficult because a guitarist has a guitar to play, right? But the actors have their body, so sometimes it's 103, 102, and like Gangs of Wasseypur, this scene which became very popular was I'm flirting with her, washing the clothes. You remember that by the well? It's very popular. And people always discuss about it. But nobody knows that I was running 103 and it was the major chilly winter in North India, near Banaras.
Wow.
And
We got back to Banaras.
So no, it was shooting in shooting Jharkhand near Banaras, and it was all foggy. They used to give me two quilts, two rajai, and in a hut. And whenever there was a shot, I used to go for it, and then again come back and cover myself with the rajai. And the doctor who was available, he came to see me. He said, 103 hai aapko. Okay, I said, okay. So medicine. So he gave me 7 medicine and 1 injection. So injection he supplied, and after that 7 tablets that I had to. I asked him, so what is this for? What is this for? What is this for? So what I realized is that there are no doctors there. This guy has given me medicine for probable, possible dengue, possible malaria, possible flu.
Let's cover everything.
He covered everything.
He covered everything. Like, so you'd be able to give us Gangs of Wasseypur.
But you are actually having fever for 3-4 days, but still you have to show up because you know that this is not a mega film. They can't really afford their main guy falling sick for that long.
I guess it's true for performers, right? I mean, sportsmen. We've heard about Sachin Tendulkar not having a fever and still batting it through because there is no other way. Anybody else falls sick, like a director or a coach falls sick, you're sipping your hot tea and you're still able to function. But
It's just
it's
now
different.
For Killer Soup, I was in Munnar, and my father was in an unconscious stage. He was going to go anytime. So on every Saturday, I used to take the flight from Kochi, go to Delhi, talk to him, stand by him, and take the flight back to Kochi and go to Munnar to shoot. And every time you are on the phone and the condition is worsening. But when you are getting out of your van, you can't afford to show that emotion to anyone because at the end of the day, you have to do your job, finish it off. Only my director knew it, Abhishek Chaubey. And one day he came to me, he said, Manoj sir, you don't need to smile and pretend to be happy. You can take the corner and I will ask people not to disturb me. I said, no, I mean, that will bog me down much more. It's better that, I'm with people and distracted from that problem, which is happening which is going on with my father in Delhi. So yeah, at time, and he passed away while I was shooting. So it is something that the actors go through, but what is commendable about them that they are hurt, they are physically or emotionally hurt, but the show needs to go on. Show has to go on.
So, just to add to the subplot things, I like the idea of JK dating. That was a kind of a cool thing, and I love that punchline in the end when, like, they're in the prison, and he says, "Dude, we're dying, and this is what you're thinking about, you." And I love the way he says the line is so well written. It says, you got to experience everything, right? You got this girl, then you moved on to another girl, you even came up to divorce, and then I'm not even that was hilarious. I was just like, that was too funny. But thank you so much for season 3 and for this time. Tell us something about season 4.
Yes, I also want to know.
I mean, I think in the course of this interview, Manoj himself has said, like, you've seen Shrikant that is most vulnerable, that is most lost, that is most defeated.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna.
Now he's at rock bottom. He has to.
He hit the rock bottom. I mean, after this, he can only go.
He has to rise up and.
He can go down further.
You think? I mean, short of dying, you mean?
Yeah. One thing that I'm thinking about is what will happen to him and Suchi, because you're going to invite discussion from all corners. If you let them come back together. They're going to be like, oh, they took the easy way out, like they had happy ending, whatever. But if you let them separate, it's going to be like, oh, I wish they got back together. So there's no like.
There is no.
like,
conversation.
Thanks for
have
this
to
added
take a
pressure.
decision.
Thanks for this added pressure.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'd love to do that, but I can't wait for season 4. And I don't know. I've been seeing some discussion about season 3, and I really enjoyed it. And it was a different flavor. I like the fact that you were so under. You were not the same guy. Like you're kind of this thing. So that added that element for me. And as always, the filmmaking was exceptional. Yes, there are always some things that you wish like this or that, but overall, I enjoyed it. So thank you so much for the season and for this interview. All the
Thank
best
you.
for season 4.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baradwaj.
Let's go holidays. Travel beyond boundaries. டார்லிங் சோலார் 20,500 முன்பணத்தில் இப்பொழுது சோலார் மூலம் இலவச மின்சாரம்.
மிஸ்டர் கோல்ட் கடலை தான் வாங்குறேன். ஏன் தெரியுமா? சாதாரண ஆயிலை விட சமையல் டேஸ்டாவும் இருக்கும், ஹெல்தியாவும் இருக்கும்.